We shall start.
Okay. So, do you have any topic in mind?
I have gone through some articles. Should I start then?
Okay. Start.
Let me present my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
So I have collected few articles, and you can see this.
Okay.
You can see this part, right? This the chat box thing.
Yes, I can see.
It is some extension called I think Space Copilot. So I read the article, then I use this. It is called Space Copilot.
Okay, what does it mean?
This is the name of it's the name of an Chrome extension. Yeah.
So what does it do? It is
it can do a lot of things, but basically, yeah. In this web page, I open this, and there are options. What is for example, in this case, what are the key takeaways from this web page? This I did not write this. This is like a pre-written question I can ask. Yeah. So when I type this, it gives me the summary. So I read the article entirely once, and then I use this summary to remember the main points. It becomes easier to discuss and all. So anyway, so this article is called the House Bill would demand disclosure of AI generated content in political aid. So what happened basically? I think this is an old news now, about a week or so ago. Basically,
what is it about?
Yeah, so someone somewhere, I guess, I don't remember, was it the Democrat side or Republican side? Some of them used generative tools to create a political ad which showed what it would be like to have Joe Biden as the president again, or something along those lines.
Okay.
So that triggered like a debate or say a discussion where they are, I think, what is it called? I think the Democrat side is pushing to release an act or a bill called the Real Political Ads Act, where any political ad has to disclose if there was any use of any generative AI tools.
Okay.
Because because now, even have you seen recently few images made by Midjourney?
No, I haven't seen any recently.
Yeah, I think the latest
Midjourney version. New about it.
I mean, the new thing is.
What is unique about it?
Unique in the sense that the latest version, Midjourney version 5.1, I guess.
Yes.
It creates very realistic, photorealistic pictures.
Okay.
So have you? I'm not sure because it became like a meme. Have you seen the picture of Pope with like a very stylish white suit or like a jacket?
No, I don't think so. I've seen.
Wait, let me search here.
You can.
Can you see this?
Yeah. Yes.
This photo is AI generated.
Okay.
Right. So, and even initially, I thought this was real. For a while, I was thinking Pope is still trying to be very stylish and all. But as I saw the comments and all, I realized actually this was made by Midjourney.
Oh.
And if you search for latest Midjourney 5.1, I think so. It has started making very realistic looking pictures. So basically, the point that I'm trying to make is most people, if they do not do the due diligence, will not be able to tell whether is it AI generated or is it real.
Yes.
So and in other things for entertainment purpose and all, it really does not matter that much, or it's not that really important.
yes, but yes, for
But for AI, for
very,
politics and all, where
hmm,
any kind of information can be taken for re-election purposes or to manipulate all those things.
right,
The source
right,
of information has to be very uh, clearly told to
disclosed.
the public. Yeah, disclosed. So I have not kept up what the progress of this act and all. I'm not sure if it has
Okay.
passed or it has already accepted or not. But basically, it brings to question like marketing and all advertising and all those
Hmm,
things where AI can be used. There's already so much fake
yes,
marketing and where people cannot tell if it is real or not. With this,
yes.
like that is I think what I'm trying to say. Do
This
you
is
have
adding
any?
another new level
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Yes, there is a requirement. There is a I'm gathering that it's adding another level to like fake news. I would say, like it's getting harder and harder. Earlier, it was textual. Means if you see something on a news site, and you can anything could be written there, and it was harder to believe that whether it is actually true or someone just made it up. And
yeah.
I think so.
Before
For
the thing,
earlier,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, before this generative tools, because in the name itself, it's
Hmm.
the word is there generative. It is
Yes.
generating things on its own. So there is you cannot trace it back to some source.
Yes.
Before this, any kind of information, even if it was fake, if you try,
Hmm.
you can go back and find the source.
Okay.
Now, any information that will come out from this AI after certain amount of circulation, so you won't be able to
Okay.
find the source where this information came from. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Uh, yes, I get it, but what I'm trying to understand is if suppose someone, how can we not trace it back uh, in case of generative AI? Suppose someone shares a like in WhatsApp, you said that for other things you can trace it back to the source. So what is the difference here? Why can't we trace it back to the source?
Because it is
There,
generative in the sense it is using whatever it has been trained on, whatever, and it is a mixture of all of those information. So if today,
okay,
I'm sure they will put some guardrails in position to not give such information, but let's say there is some kind of information that is generated by ChatGPT about some celebrity that is not true,
okay,
and for some reason
okay,
it goes viral in the internet. You cannot
okay,
really verify the source because it was generated. It did not come from one particular outlet or one particular source in per se.
oh, oh, yes, I get it. Yeah.
Like if there is a fake news, you can find out who generated fake news, for what purpose, and all of those things. Today, if
Yes. Oh, yes,
GPT if GPT generates a text, there is no
yes,
blaming
yes.
GPT. It just generated it.
Mm, yes, I get it. Means if human creates a fake news, there is generally a motive behind creating the news.
Yeah,
Because they have an agenda behind creating that fake news. But for
yeah,
an AI, there is no agenda. So it's for just they are doing it just try and sound more like a human. So they are just
yeah,
saying it because it sounds more like a human.
yeah. I guess that
Yes,
is what I'm trying to say.
even
Yeah.
this week even I found out about something called Arthur Shield. Have you heard of it?
Something called
You
what?
can just Google Arthur, ART. You can just Google it and see. Arthur
ART?
Shield, HUR, Arthur,
Art
CHUR, Arthur Shield, SHILD.
is actor.
No, not an actor. It's a software or something. Remove the S, just Shield. No, no, this is not a. Yeah, yes. Arthur Shield, even a generative AI. Yes, this is, I think yes. Yeah, this is it. The venture bit article you can just click.
So
Oh yes, yes, yes. I'm not, I just briefly saw this thing on a YouTube video. So I think so. I'm not sure what exactly it is. I think by the name it says it is some kind of a firewall. So what exactly is a firewall? Yes, you can summarize it.
Arthur AI is like a company, a product called
Okay.
Arthur Shield, which is a firewall for AI data.
Okay.
Okay,
Trying
is
to sit in front of LLM.
check data
Yes,
going both in and
the
out.
seconds.
Okay,
So I think so. This can be one of the solutions that they're what they're saying. In terms of fact, is this some kind of fact checking mechanism?
right. It could be okay. So basically, it is filtering out the data that is coming out of LLMs. But what sort of filtering process does it use? So I get what they're trying to do, but to understand how they're doing it, I'll figure out how do they filter the data.
So means what is it they're trying to do?
So basically, what I understood is that a firewall. So they will put a firewall that will check any data that is coming out of LLMs. But how? Okay, I don't think this can be used to fact check because the firewall has to know what a fact is. It has to
Yes,
know all the facts in the world in order to fact check something.
yes. Mm,
But I think we can make it so that it will reject certain kinds of output. For
okay,
example, if something is too speculative like if the text is written and it is written in a very speculative manner,
okay.
then we can put filtration such that it will reject anything that is too speculative. So I get in some sense it makes sense, but it will not be a proper solution, I think so.
So we can look into some another topic.
So another one was this. Can you see the whole headline, right?
Yes, I can see.
So
I'm
this is
talking
also
about
quite an old news. So you can see it was written on 1st May. So
this
basically,
from this week itself.
yeah, so try they're trying to implement a AI filter for fake and promotional calls.
Hmm.
So now because these are text-based LLMs or language-based, so I think this kind of filter can be made quite easily. Any kind of spam messages, spam calls can
Yes.
be stopped from the telecom side itself. So that is one good use of this kind of AI technology.
Or those kind of fake marketing calls, those kind of things.
Yeah, marketing calls or even spam messages and all, because
Yes.
the LLM, the AI filter can read the message and
Hmm.
it can very easily classify because this text LLMs are quite advanced and can understand anything text based.
Yes.
So you can quite clearly tell if it is spam or not.
So these kind of things are already implemented in emails.
Yeah, those are
It has been implemented for such very long.
yeah,
But the
those are
models are very,
implemented,
very
but that is text classification. In
okay.
that, I cannot tell you the technical details because I also don't understand very deeply. But the model itself, earlier text classification was not based on the transformer models.
Okay.
GPT and all of the latest LLMs, these are based on transformer models, which is like very advanced compared to any recurrent neural networks or anything we previously used. So they are doing the same thing, but
Okay.
uh, because we have to go a little technical, from what I understand,
Okay.
earlier earlier neural networks did not have the technology or feature of context window. Have you like do
Okay.
you know anything about what context window is in neural network? This NLP.
No, I don't have much idea about it. But you can just go ahead. I'll try to get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell in however like basically whenever we give a text a sentence after
Okay.
processing a certain word,
Okay.
previous neural networks do not have the memory of that previously uh, processed word. Prepare what I'm
Yes.
trying to say.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I get it.
So once it has processed it, it forgets what it processed.
Okay.
So that is why the context window was very small. If you give too large a like a 1,000 page, 1,000 word spam email,
Okay.
and you
Okay.
ask previously whatever Gmail used to use for spam content and all. After like reading through the first 2 3 lines, it will forget whether it was spam or not. So it
Okay.
was useful for classifying a small few lines of words whether it is spam or not.
Okay.
But now this transformer model has a larger context window. That is why you can keep the conversation going and it will know what was the last conversation we had.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe if you I don't know if you've used Google like this AI before the what is it called Alexa,
Bar.
Siri and all those things.
L. No. No. I haven't.
Yeah, I've also never tried, but if you had tried a little bit before, you will remember that they do not have memory of what was the previously asked.
Question.
Every
Yes.
new
Yes.
message is a new message for them, and you can
Yes.
clearly tell
That's
in
not the case.
GPT. Yeah, you can clearly tell with GPT whatever I'm asking now, it will use information that
Hmm.
I asked before.
Yes.
So the context window is very large. Even if it is large,
As
the
I
GPT
have seen
4.5 is actually considered quite what is what they
primitive.
say, quite primitive already because GPT-4 they have not released it, but there will be one with 32,000 context windows, something like that. So you can give like 40 pages worth of text data,
Okay.
and it will remember everything.
Okay. So
So
what's
I'm
the
not sure if
context window for
my yeah yeah for what
for 3.5 GB 3.5
it is 4,000 I
what's
guess
the context in? Okay, okay.
4,000
So for 10,000
per information. Like at once you can give 4,000.
okay,
For GPT-4 without anything is 8,000 I guess, and next it will be 32,000, which is not out. I mean, it is not public access yet.
okay.
So like people have gotten used to this update in memory quite easily because I see in Twitter people complaining about the small context window size
Okay.
that it has
Yes,
is 4,000 is not enough. But before this GPT, like having a conversation like this and it remembering was not even feasible.
yes. So
So I
we appreciate the technology
yeah
to get know how much progress has been done.
yeah. So as you said, this spam message and all existed already, but they were using primitive technologies. You can, I mean, recurrent neural networks and all of those are not primitive, but compared to the progress that
Yes,
has happened last few days, last few months, it
once.
is quite primitive. So although it is the same spam identification system, since the inherent
Yes,
architecture
in
has
the
changed, so the output will be quite
okay,
better.
okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about this topic?
Uh, no, I got it. I got the thing we are trying to do with
Yeah.
time. So TRA. So if TRA implements, that means it will be applicable for all the calls that are being done. for all calls in India,
Should
regardless
be.
of the network provider.
No, I think I mean all the telcos they have to individually apply it in their services because here is as it written that Reliance and what they've announced that they will start the AI filter service soon, but I don't know when that is.
In terms of this telecom, like the internet providers, the SIM providers, there are Jio, Airtel, and Vodafone, that DI. These are the only main three companies right now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Apart from that, what is Reliance, I would say what BSNL,
BSNL is there, yeah,
but they,
but
yes, but they are the
Reliance and Airtel are the market leaders. So like they have the most market share.
I think so Vodafone, PI, or whatever they
Yeah. Vodafone is there,
are.
but I think I've always been reading that they're struggling. I don't know how they're still going on. I don't think they're making any profit.
Okay. Okay, speaking of Geo, I remembered a few more things about Geo, Reliance in general, Reliance Geo in general. So I have this will- probably it was last week or maybe it was this week. I heard that I think it was last week. Geo they have acquired the rights for HBO in India. It's all
HBO,
HBO related
entire
series and
HBO.
everything. Entire HBO. I think so.
Yeah,
Earlier it was in it was all the HBO content was being delivered in India through Hotstar. But
yeah,
even then, certain shows which were in HBO, like Raised by Wolves, so that was an HBO Max show,
yeah.
but that was not in Hotstar. So even whatever some of the content that were in HBO's catalog, so all of it is not available in India. And now I don't know how much of it will be available in India through Geo, but it's no longer no longer available in through Hotstar. So Geo has taken this let's say taken the rights. And one thing is what I realized is that the the app that they have called Geo Cinema, I think they are trying to convert it into a I would say like a streaming app like Netflix and those kind of things or Hotstar. So they are trying to expand it into that area as well, like Geo or Reliance, I
I
would say.
think this time IPL you can watch on Jio Cinema, right? Not on Hotstar.
No, not in Hotstar. Even so, that is what I have realized.
So was it before
I first pay
in
because
Hotstar yes, in Hotstar did you have to pay to watch IPL or was it free?
no, you had to pay. I think yes, you had to pay. You had to have a subscription for watching Hotstar, watching that. But now the thing is that Reliance only has the rights for digital streaming, and they can only stream it on their Geo Cinema. But for TV broadcast, Hotstar is owned by Star, or I think it's actually what I know is that Disney is owned by Star. Star, yes, no, it's the other way around. Star owns Disney, and Hotstar is Star Networks app. So
Our owns Disney.
in that way. No. Disney owns Star.
Yeah.
Star doesn't own. So what was I saying?
So Disney is
Yes,
quite a monopoly then. It owns a lot of things.
yes. Disney owns a lot of things. So Disney owns Star. So there's this. That is why they have this app called Disney. Actually, the Hotstar app now in India it's known as Disney Plus
Yeah.
Hotstar.
Disney Plus Hotstar, yeah.
Yes. So what was I saying before? About IPL? Yes, Star still broadcast when the auction was held for TV rights for telecasting it in TV. Star still has the rights for the next 5 years, but for the same time period, they cannot stream it on their own app in Hotstar. That will only be done through Geo Cinema. So for digital streaming, Geo has won the rights. And what I've observed is that earlier Geo Cinema was means I don't think so. Anyone ever used it because even the movies that are they were available here, there were not any recent movies.
Yeah.
Mainly old movies or not very popular movies were there. But starting from the World Cup, because when I originally when the World Cup few days before the World Cup started, I thought that I had to. I knew that Viacom 18 that is also I think so part of Reliance they had the rights for streaming for broadcasting the World Cup. So I thought that, and the Viacom 18 they have their own app called Voot through which they stream their sports and or all the other because Reliance the Viacom 18 also has the rights to other football leagues such as Spanish, Italian, and the French league. So before the World Cup, all of the to watch them we have to have subscription of Voot. So I thought that for watching the World Cup I have to take a good subscription. But then what they did was they launched everything on Geo Cinema for free. I don't think so.
Every
For I
football
don't.
match is free now on
If
Jio
the
Cinema.
yes, no, it started with the World Cup. It was
So
free
all
on Geo
like Premier
Cinema.
League
The
matches and all we
subscription.
can watch for free.
No. Premier League is not shown through Viacom. They don't have the rights. Only Hotstar has the rights. The Star Network has the rights. That is where
Okay.
I'll come to it later. So right now, Geo Cinema started from. They rose to prominence from the World Cup. After the World Cup ended, they also started streaming the Italian, Spanish, and the French league for free on Geo Cinema. And yes, so now they have a lot of things there, and now they have also added HBO, all the HBO shows. So on the other hand, Geo Cinema in a very short amount of time they have risen. On the other hand, Hotstar they have lost most of the things. They have lost the rights to IPL. They have lost the rights to what was it? All the HBO related content. And now I think so the only good thing that they have is the rights to Premier League, the football. That's the only means good thing that they have. I think I have a Hotstar subscription only because of that because I had to watch that thing. If
Other
it goes
than
away,
other than
then
that, people will also watch for Disney content.
yes, they have Disney content. Means like for they all the Marvel movies or not only just the movies, all the Marvel movies and series all are there, and Star Wars, all everything Star Wars related things are there, and also yes, all the Disney things are there, and there are a few good movies. There some every now and then it is released there, so it's still good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's still very good, but they
Yeah.
have lost a lot to their competitor to Geo Cinema.
But I think in that case, if Disney Plus did not exist, or if Disney did not exist,
Yes,
then Hotstar is
yes.
empty because other than Disney content, there is nothing left to Hotstar. What
No,
originally
they
was
also
Hotstar.
have like yes. No, they have the Star Network. They had earlier there are channels like Star One and not the Star One, like English in Star World. Those kind of channels are those kind of channels are very there. So those the shows that are being shown there, those shows can be watched here, and those are really good shows. Not just like the things that you can see on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Those kind of shows are there. So they are there. It's not that it's completely empty. They're still there, apart from Disney and those things.
But Hotstar never had any Hotstar original shows. Or did they have?
No, I think right now I think so in the last few years they have created Hotstar original shows, but they are most I think so all of them are Indian language because Hotstar only exists in India, so they are Indian language like in these series are there. Those are Hotstar original content. So they were thinking,
8 more
what
minutes
is this
left.
about? Okay,
This
what is
was I
this
was
about?
just browsing and I found this. Like, it's quite a clickbaity headline. If you're not using ChatGPT, flip writing and probably making a mistake. But basically, this article is discussing from the point of view of someone who is not into, yeah, as it says, to non-AI experts, like who is not into technology, or because most of the articles or discussion I have seen is mostly by people who are in the tech space. They're like
Yes.
speculating what AI will be, what AI will do, and all of those things. This is an article from the point of view of someone who is not into all those discussions and how they are using currently, how currently they are using ChatGPT and all. So the conclusion was quite like basic, like they are using AI tools like ChatGPT, Bing, and all to improve the research work. And they say that this is like the most significant transition in the labor market after the revolution in farming. So they are highlighting the importance of like more people should get familiar with using these AI tools, those basic stuff.
I mean, so it should be relevant for people who are not in the tech industry, how to
Yeah,
use those
because
this.
if you look into Twitter, because my Twitter following is mostly like people on in tech only. So every other post is about how much progress has been made and all the technical things and all.
Mm,
But for most people, ChatGPT itself has not been like accepted properly and how to use it and all those things. So this is like a article discussing about how people, regular people whose job is not in AI,
yes,
are using
yes.
these tools.
It's just for the regular people who are not into tech, or even if they're in technology, if they're not in the space of computer science or artificial intelligence,
Yeah,
from their point of view, just this is a tool that they have to use. They can't
yeah,
the technical details don't matter to them that much. So for people like them, such kind of general articles would be more relevant.
yeah. So one of the main points I think here discuss is like how to, not how to, but urging people to get better at prompting, basically. Like most people use this kind of tools as like a search engine, like how you would
Yes.
search at Google.
Mm,
But their use case comes when you can properly sentence the problem, sentence the question.
yes, yes.
Like
The,
if you cannot simply just ask like how you ask Google, like what are the sources or something like that. If you give it very proper instructions and how to form the answer, that is where like its current GPT strength comes.
okay.
Like this screenshot and all. I don't know if they have the prompt here. I think I read it somewhere or not. But basically, like he asked it to create a table. What should be the motivation, the evidence?
Okay, yes.
So if you simply ask for sources, it will just give one or two, three links like a bullet point.
Yeah.
But if you ask it to properly make it a tabular form, highlight the evidence and all those things, like how you would actually give instruction to some other human being,
Okay.
and
So
then
this is
the
what you said
the
earlier
most
about prompt engineering. This is what it is actually.
prompt engineering is like a hype word. It's not really engineering,
Yes, not
but
engineering.
basically you get better at asking and figuring out what are its like when you play around it. Initially, though, you will start with basic questions and all, like how you're using any Google search. Then you start
Yes.
seeing its limits. If I ask it for this, how will it answer? If I ask it for the like for initially, I thought it'd be really good to summarize book, but then I found out that
Okay.
for books that it does not have access to, it will very conveniently fabricate information. Like there is a book
It
called
just fabricates information.
yeah, there is a book called Feeling
Okay.
Good. I think it's called Feeling Good by there is an author. It is like a CBT book. I have the PDF of it, but it is quite a
Okay.
long book. Like there are 600 pages or something. So I thought if GPT can summarize
Okay.
it for me, then it will be better. So I asked the GPT to summarize it, and it very very confidently like these are the
Okay.
contents, these are the chapters. and summary of his book. But all of those chapters were made up, all of the contents were made up. Like
Just
that is how
lied.
you, yeah, it completely lied. It did not even tell that I do not have access. Like for some questions, it will tell as an AI language model, I do not have all those things. But sometimes it
Okay.
does not even give that disclaimer. It will just start lying. So I think this article is basically saying you have to like explore and figure out how to what extent you can trust it, in what different ways you can use it.
Okay. These books. So have you ever used Audible or any? Have you listened to any
Is it for my side or is it for you?
audiobooks?
I'm not able to hear you properly.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it is coming.
So
We
can you
have,
hear me?
we have 1 minute left.
Okay. So what should we do? Should we end it or continue?
If you have anything more to discuss, we can start again after this one ends.
I you can just do another 10-15 minutes. You can I can talk about a few. So
Yeah, because I also have another one more
and
tab, as you can see. So
finish this one.
let me manually end this here and
Just
we'll
finish
start
this
again.
one and this one and start. Okay, you end it here this one.
Yeah.